Hi, Kenny.
Scott. Hi, Tony.
We are recording. I'd like to welcome everyone to the City of Gloucester Budget and Finance Committee meeting of July 17th, a hot one. My name is Scott Memhard. I'm the Ward 1 City Councilor and Budget and Finance Chair. With me is Councilor Tony Gross, Councilor at Large and City Council President. Our Chief Financial Officer and Treasurer, Connor McCorkle. Welcome, Connor. Yep. Our Clerk of Committees, Lines Jones, and Kenny Costa is our City Auditor. We also have David Tucker and Chelsea Goldstein on board, and we're expecting Councilor Worthley to join us very shortly. So I don't have any reason not to take things out of order, so we'll just go ahead as the agenda states. And item number one on our Budget and Finance Committee meeting tonight is a memorandum from our Chief Financial Officer regarding a loan order. And we've seen this before, but I think we're finally getting there. An amendment to a loan order from 2022-008. And this is for doors and windows at the O'Malley Middle School. And it's increasing the loan amount from the approved authorized loan amount from $6,500,000 by an additional $110,000 to $6,610,000. And this has been continued from our last meeting in May. And Connor, we'd like to explain why.
Sure.
Why we're moving money around and
So the O'Malley
obligations.
Sure. So the O'Malley Doors and Windows project is MSBA reimbursable. The first $110,000 of design costs for this project, the school department covered out of their general fund budget before the loan order was established. So the change we're requesting tonight is an administrative change requested by the Mass School Building Authority to make the appropriation in line with the total cost of the project. So we won't incur any additional costs. The school department has already funded that design out of their general fund several fiscal years ago. But this just makes the total appropriation on the loan order match the total cost of the project, which is requested by MSBA.
And this does in fact qualify for additional reimbursement from the state.
It will still have the same reimbursement from MSBA. It's just really administrative to make sure the project costs are the same. So the reason we had to continue was because their legal department wanted to review the loan.
For now. Councilor Gross.
No, I think it's just important to note that this is just, we're not borrowing any money.
Right.
This is just for us to get the authorization that if we had originally borrowed the money and not spent it, out of pocket, then we would have had it, but in order for MSBA to reimburse us, am I seeing this right? 61.0%.
I believe that's
Quite a nice ratio to our spending. So, okay, well, that's pretty clear.
In that case, I will move to recommend the City Council, based on we approve the loan order as follows. That the certificate of vote 2022-165 of this council approved November 2nd, 2022, authorizing the borrowing of $6,500,000 to pay for costs associated with replacing doors and windows in the Ralph B. O'Malley Middle School, including the payment of all costs incidental or related thereto, is amended in its entirety to provide as follows. The City of Gloucester appropriates the amount of $610,000 for the purpose of paying costs for replacement windows and doors at roofs at the Ralph B. O'Malley Middle School, including the payment of all costs incidental or related thereto. The project, which proposed repair, will materially extend the useful life of the school and preserve an asset that otherwise is capable of supporting the required educational program, and for which the city may be eligible for a grant from the Massachusetts School Building Authority, the MSBA, and said amount to be expended under the direction of the appropriate school building committee. To meet this appropriation, the treasurer, with the approval of the mayor, is authorized to borrow said amount under Mass General Law, Chapter 44, or pursuant to any other enabling authority. The city acknowledges the MSBA's grant program is a non-entitlement discretionary program based on need as determined by the MSBA, and that any project costs the city incurs in excess of any grant approved by and received from the MSBA shall be the sole responsibility of the city. Provided further that any grant that the city may receive from the MSBA for the project shall not exceed the lesser of 61 and 200%, 61.02% of eligible approved project costs is determined by the MSBA, or 2, the total maximum grant amount determined by the MSBA, and that the amount of the borrowing is authorized pursuant to this vote and shall be reduced by any grant amount set forth in the project funding agreement that may be executed between the city and the MSBA. And further ordered that any premium received by the city upon the sale of any bonds or notes approved by this vote, less any premium applied to the payment of the costs of issuance of such bonds or notes may be applied to the payment of costs approved by this vote in accordance with chapter 44, section 20 of the general laws, thereby reducing the amount authorized to be borrowed to pay such a cost by a like amount. And further ordered, the treasurer is authorized to file an application to the Municipal Finance Oversight Board to qualify under chapter 44A of the general laws, any or all of the bonds authorized by this order, to provide such information to execute such documents as the Municipal Finance Oversight Board may require for these purposes. And I so move.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Me.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And one present. Welcome. Worthly. Yeah. Just at the beginning of the agenda. So next up. So the motion passes 3 in favor, 0 opposed. 2 in favor, 0 opposed, and 1 present. Number 2 is a memorandum from our grants, finance and compliance administrator requesting acceptance of the fiscal year 2025, fiscal year 2026 community development block grant in the amount of $684,282. Are you going to comment on this as well?
Chris McCann is supposed to be joining from
Yep,
community.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Chris,
Hi. Hello.
is this up, down, or what we were expecting for the?
It's a little down from last year, but not by much. So it's pretty much what we were expecting. So every year it goes down a little bit. So we're happy to actually get it this year. So and I know this past year, we've made sure we hit our timeliness number that we needed to hit. We also completed our 5-year annual comprehensive plan that we have to do every 5 years, along with our annual plan to kind of show how we're going to spend things out. And that was all up for public comment and things like that. So this is pretty much, like our annual allocation that we get every year. I don't know if you guys have any questions or anything.
Counselors, Counselor Woodley.
Just a question. First, thank you for bringing this to us and for the hard work you guys do. Is this based on a formula based on our population or income or things like that, or just how much the federal government has to spend? Is there any control we have over trying to get that number higher or lower? Not trying to keep over. Is there any role we play other than applying?
No, we just basically it's whatever they end up giving to us. It's an entitlement grant. So it's based off of most likely the census data and the areas of low income, because that's a lot of what they try and help with.
So does the number going down have a correlation to us having fewer lower income residents, or does it have more to do with federal government giving less money to the program?
Most likely the federal government giving less every year. And it's not that much less. It's probably like maybe $10,000 less. It's not like 100,000 less.
I remember being right around 700,000 last year, so it's not that bad. Thank you. I could be wrong if I'm too. You answered my questions. Thank you.
Brooks.
Yep, thank you.
Okay, we'll make a recommendation. Budget and Finance moves to recommend that the City Council accept under Mass General Law, Chapter 4453A, a federal grant in the amount of $684,282 for the Community Development Block Grant, CDBG, from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, for a program year, fiscal year 2025, fiscal year 2026. And I so move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Motion passes 3 in favor, 0 opposed. Thank you, Grace.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
You should know that your Zoom screen says that you're the boss.
Oh, it does? Oh. Okay, okay. Connor had to send me a link because mine wasn't working. Stuff wasn't working, but
I just want to say you're sitting in a big seat.
I mean, it's big some shoes I have to fill there if that were the case. Connor does a good job, so thank you, everyone.
Item number 3 on our agenda tonight is a memorandum from the Veteran Services Director, District Director requesting our acceptance of donations supporting the Cape Ann Veteran Services in the total amount of $450. And I would move to recommend that the City Council accept various cash donations under Mass General Law 4453A to support veteran services in the total amount of $450 from the following members and business partners within our community. And they are the Trinity Congregational Church, Mary Williams, and Ed Camo. And we thank them all. Total is $450, and I so move.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 3 in favor, 0 opposed. And as you'll see, we have a second acceptance for them at the end of the agenda. And now, memorandum from the Regional Prevention Director requesting acceptance of the Massachusetts Collaborative for Action, Leadership, and Learning 3 Mass Cal Paul 3 Substance Misuse Prevention Grant in the amount of $250,000. And I see David and Chelsea here. Is that your bailiwick?
Yes, it is. That's our grant.
Tell us a little bit
Um,
about it.
Yeah, so the Mass Call grant is a prevention grant that we use regionally in substance use prevention in youth. It is half of what it has been the past 4 years due to COVID funding ending. But we utilize these grant funds to help regionally across the 7 communities we work with and do substance use prevention with our youth coalitions.
Anything like your youth leadership program that we recently recognized, this will be another fantastic success. That was a great
Thank you so
event.
much. Thank you. It was great. Thank you for having us.
Counselors, questions? Council Gross? Council Worker.
I was gonna say thank you for continuing to do commendable kinds of work, so, and send that thank you right to the kids.
Thank you.
Regional Youth Prevention Network. Thank you.
On the administrative part of this, is this all in the Gloucester Board of Health?
Yeah, so it's ran through the prevention team through the Gloucester Health Department, and it is a no match, just to be clear.
Right, well, what I'm asking is that we have, there's directors at each community, participating community, the directors at each one. So it's something in here that,
Sorry, my voice is a little scratchy today. Every community has a different infrastructure, I guess, to support prevention work. So some of the larger communities like Beverly, Ipswich, and Danvers have their own prevention coalitions that have some paid staff, some unpaid staff. The smaller communities, Essex, Manchester, and Rockport, do not have their own local prevention coalition. So a lot of the funding that we receive through this Mass Call grant, we use to stipend folks in each of those 7 communities to help coordinate our youth coalitions and to coordinate with our adult coalition as well. So the funding not only supports our staff here in Gloucester, it also stipends facilitators in our partner communities.
and that's all in those salary line item, but this captures all of those, right?
Yep. So the salary lines encompass prevention team staff members, and then we use subcontractor agreements with our partner communities. And so you'll see in the budget, there's substantial funding in the subcontractor line, and that represents monies that we use to stipend facilitators.
Okay, great, thank you.
Council Worthley?
Thank you for those answers, Chelsea. Appreciate your work. And kind of a following up on Council Gross's question. Is the $250,000 that we receive reflecting, is that also based on numbers and demographics and those sorts of things? No. Okay,
No, so the Bureau of Substance Addiction Services is the funder. It's a division of the Massachusetts Department of Public Health. They fund regional groups of communities to do youth substance use prevention work, and it is flat funding no matter the population size or the demographics of those communities. So there are some clusters that receive mass call funding that have 8 communities or 7 like ours, while there are others that are much smaller, like 2 or 3 communities. So, but every kind of mass call cluster receives the same amount of money.
I see. So the more communities we have doesn't give us more, but it also means we are spending more. The number 7 is determined by the state, the group that's, the region, is that coordinated by or established by something other than us, or are we deciding which communities can join into this?
Yeah, so it's a little of both. I think communities were I guess for our 7 communities, that was built on infrastructure that had been set up years ago. So I think the communities of Beverly, Danvers, and Gloucester had done a lot of work with previous grants, MOPSI and SAPSI grants, which are like kind of older versions of the Mass Call 3 grant. So there was a long history of collaboration with Cape Ann Plus communities. So I think when this Mass Call grant opportunity presented itself, when the RFI came out, I think, or RFR came out, I believe that, and again, this was before my time and before David's time, but my understanding is that these 7 communities opted in based on obviously geographic proximity and also a history of collaborating together on past substance use efforts.
Thank you for that answer.
Okay. If not further, Councilor Gross?
Yep.
So thank you both, David and Chelsea, and I'll read the motion. Budget and Finance moves to recommend that the City Council accept under Mass General Law 4453A a contract amendment to the federal grant from the Substance Use and Mental Health Services Administration passed through the Massachusetts Department of Public Health, Bureau of Substance Addiction Services, of fiscal year 2026 and fiscal year 2027, Massachusetts Collaborative for Action, Leadership, and Learning. 3, Mass Call 3, Substance Misuse Prevention Program Grant in the amount of $250,000. The total contract maximum obligation totals $1,241,666 for all years. The purpose of this grant is to support the Regional Youth Prevention Network, prevent and reduce the use of substance and delay first use amongst regional youth. The fiscal year 2026 grant period for expenditure of these funds is $125,000 from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. The fiscal year 2027 grant period for expenditure of these funds is $125,000 from July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2027. And there is no local match required for these grants, for this grant. I so move.
Second,
Any further discussion? Well done. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? That passes 3 in favor, 0 opposed. And kudos to you again.
Yep, keep up the good work.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
Item number 5 on our Budget and Finance agenda is a memorandum from the Director of Elder Services requesting our acceptance of donations to support the Gloucester Council on Aging and the Rose Baker Senior Center in the total amount of $900. I'll read the motion. Budget and Finance moves to recommend that the City Council accept various cash donations under Mass General Law 4453A to support the Council on Aging programs and activities in the amount of $900 from the following members and business partners within our community: Umar, Barbara Black, Ed Fisher, Bill Fisher, Vincent Libro, A.S. Gannett, Christine McGrath, Jose Maligno, Paul St. Armand, and the associated charities for a total amount of $900, with thanks to all of those generous donors. And I so move.
second,
Any further question? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 3 in favor, 0 opposed. And then we're circling back at number 6 is the Veterans Service Director again. Second phase of acceptance of donations in the amount this time of $350. And Budget and Finance have moved to recommend that the City Council accept various cash donations under Mass General Law 4453A to support veterans services in the amount of $350 from the following members and business partners in our community, whom are Peter and Pam Lane, Lisa Bonerville and George Davis, Joan Morose, Linda Rust, Deborah and Michael Hickey, and Peter LaFada, for a total of $350. Again, thanks. I so move.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 3 in favor, 0 opposed. And next up, again, from the Director of Elder Services, a further acceptance of a donation in the amount of $300. And I would read the motion for Budget and Finance to recommend that the City Council accept cash donations under Mass General Law 4453A to support Council on Aging programs and activities in the amount of $300. And this is generously donated from Citizens Bank. And I so move.
Second.
Motion's been made and well seconded. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 3 in favor, 0 opposed. And that brings us to the bright light of tonight's meeting, Kenny, which is the shortest overdraw list that I've seen, I think, ever. So it reflects good anticipation and budgeting and a clean start to the year, I guess.
Correct.
Any
Happy to
comments?
see, happy to see that there's only 4 accounts on the list. Much better than the last meeting. So the 4 accounts, I mean, to be honest, I've been working on fiscal year 25. I really haven't put too much attention into 26 yet with the deficits. I think a lot like the ComDev and the Council on Aging, I believe those are grants. And I think, as you see, like today, CDBG was approved. So some of these deficits will be corrected during the year once the grants are set up, and then the salaries are moved to the correct funding source. So this is just timing at the beginning of the year. The fire department, that is workers' comp, so that'll be an internal transfer that'll be covered throughout the year. DPW public properties, I'm not sure if the encumbrance is correct. It could be beginning of the year and they're looking for the correct allocations. We haven't had any expenditures yet for the DPW for payroll. They lag. They're on a different payroll tracking system, so they lag. So I'll be interested to talk to Lauren or even to payroll to see if that number is correct or if we need to make any adjustments. And obviously, Connor, if you if you see anything that needs to be corrected. But no, this is nice. This is a nice list. I hope this list stays like this for a while. Happy to see this.
Well, we have both of you here. I would just be interested to know what conversations you both have had with the DPW around the salary over the overtime and salaries that Mike and his department are having to cope with to allocate coverage for the trash pickup and the recycling handling. Is that something that either of you have discussed at this point, or is that still coming?
So there was an agreement signed between the city and the DPW union. So there's a stipend arrangement doing the trash service. And then we're figuring out the budget. Obviously, it's a little unique right now because we're tracking what the costs are. While we figure out what we're doing with the Republic Fund.
No, we're trying to recoup those costs.
Correct. So there have been no payments made to Republic. Several months.
You said there have been no things we did wrong.
We haven't made the invoices to Republic.
So that alone would be a savings.
Correct. Just have to see where it lands.
Yep, or how the contract.
So this is news, I just don't understand. So instead of paying them, that gives us potentially more money to pay our debts.
Well, it all has to be
Mhm.
financially correct.
Correct.
So
That's a
it's not,
budget transfer.
no. I mean, we may be withholding more than we can charge against it, so we may wind up paying them. Meaning overtime, let's say overtime's $50,000 and we're withholding 75,000. We'd have to give them that delta of $25,000.
Even if they're not providing service.
They are providing service. Yeah, I mean, yes, I mean, yeah, exactly.
So right now, just pause payment while
Yeah.
the respective legal teams, right?
Exactly. But they're paying, Hills to buy what, minimal. Yes, Hills is providing the roll-offs
Oh, sorry, I said,
and
Trash.
Public is paying Hills. Cycling. Been a
Public
very,
is paying Hills for
Mhm.
recycling that we're not paying Republic for.
They're providing the
Yeah.
roll-offs.
and so, yes, if any breach of service, they'll will not pay. So there will be money to, so we're withholding funds.
It's probably gonna have a port somewhere.
Yes, yeah, I think absolutely it's gonna wind up in court, no, in the end, when it's all over. Unless everybody can come to the table, agreements about, okay, this is what, everybody's in agreement on what's owed.
Last time Republic's went on strike, it was 87 days. Just hope it's, the brother employees went on strike, 87 days, let's just hope that we can. This gets all resolved.
Sounds like two hard-headed beasts
Mhm.
hammering away at each other.
Okay, Warriors in the middle, doesn't get better.
We are collateral damage.
But I think the community by and large, is figuring it out and they're using the C-Click fixed communications platform.
Yeah, I saw it.
The recycling thing, I'm sure people, I don't know how elderly neighbors are coping with getting help to get stuff over to the recycling center at the DPW yard, but it's working remarkably smoothly for the short term.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is the two roll-offs. Enough. Then they're not.
And the fact that the DPW staff aren't fully able to do their regular work.
Right.
Well, they've covered
Yeah. And I saw it.
trash and stuff.
I saw one of the dump trucks completely filled with bags and, what was it? 3/4 10.
Early on.
I guess
It's not recycling, but trash.
trash,
They're picking up what the public's not.
right? Yeah, so they heading back towards the barn. The Pickup truck, that dump truck full. I mean, it was full.
So I wanna just always, and this is not the place or time or place, but always continue to thank them to you got the workers who are doing the work. And come up with the idea for recycling, it was them that did that, and grateful for
Right, I
the
don't
fact
think
that
that,
everyone's coming together. Oh, I figured this out.
I don't know if this would be public property, so I guess. Very good.
We are forewarned. Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? You, pass, three in favor, zero opposed.